I think our headlines are that there is, if you're a homeowner here in New Zealand, things are going to get really tough for you. What we've seen from that budget yesterday is that interest rates will stay higher for longer, and that's going to cause a lot of pain and suffering for homeowners up and down the country. And I think the second thing is that if you are a hardworking Kiwi, there's actually not a lot of tax relief in here for you, and that's something that we wanted to see in this budget yesterday as well. What we don't support is universal prescriptions. I don't think it makes a lot of sense that someone like me gets the benefit of that. But I do think there is need for targeted support to those that most desperately need it. And so what I would want to see is more targeting. What we will do is have a targeted program to support people in need that would be of a huge benefit to. We think there's a real need for that. I think targeting it to people with community services cards, for example, targeting it to people with super gold cards would actually be the way in which we would go about doing that. We don't support the so-called fair pay agreements. We think it's adding cost to businesses. It's actually, and businesses have been doing it incredibly tough. There are going to be many small businesses that will go to the wall and will actually fail because of the added cost of fair pay agreements, or so-called fair pay agreements. What we're saying is, look, this is a government where spending is utterly out of control, and you're seeing some of the international economists pass those remarks overnight about this budget. Be under no illusion, spending is going harder and becoming more intense and stronger. Government spending, as I said in my speech, is up over 80%, since this government came to power. It's a huge amount of government spending. And equally, there is a huge amount of waste within the government spending that we actually think we can go through and actually fund those tax relief that we want to be able to pass on to people. The point's really simple. This government has actually said we will inflation adjust beneficiary payments. We will inflation adjust superannuation payments. We will inflation adjust the costs of government departments, but they're not prepared to inflation adjust the tax thresholds that actually working Kiwis are navigating so they get some relief. And I think that's unfair. That's the point.
The Treasury released advice last year which was explicit that the choice between tax cuts and more government spending is more inflationary than tax reduction, particularly where tax reduction is being paid for by reducing government spending. So we think that actually tax reduction would lower pressure on inflation if funded through savings in the government budget.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald. Click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.